called, I think it's a girl fight. I don't know. But me and my roommate like got the rumbling, and it wasn't my fault, and like I've grown a lot. I have gave her 3 strikes and she just took it too far. She took it to my mama and all of that. But I'm not gonna get... Hey Spice Squad, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, go on, press that red subscribe button down below and press the bell so you don't miss a thing your girl posts and become a part of the squad, gang gang. So today I am talking about finding the perfect roommate. I'm not sure if I have a lot of college followers or if I just have people who are trying to move out on their own and just need help and don't want to be alone for their first time on their own, and they want to just have some help with some bills and household things. So I'm going to talk about some tips that I used and would use to pick the perfect roommate. I don't know if I'm the most qualified for this because I have went through some things with a former roommate, but that was just in the past, like one roommate, not all my roommates. So in college, the first year, my roommate never showed up, so I had a dorm to myself. The second year, a mess, and I have a video about that. It's a story time, and y'all can check it out. It's in one of my story times called, I think it's a girl fight. I don't know, but me and my roommate like got the rumbling, and it wasn't my fault, and like I've grown a lot. I have gave her 3 strikes and she just took it too far. She took it to my mama and all of that. But I'm not gonna get into that story. You can go and look at one. But my last 2 years I had perfect roommates. It was 3 of us and we just got along great and it worked out. So I guess I'm gonna jump right into it, and they should be the perfect steps to take when you're picking your roommate. And there's some things that I've used and I've asked like some of my friends who have roommates and etc. First things first, look beyond your good friends. Just because that's your bestie doesn't mean y'all need to live together. Just because you guys are compatible when you link up does not mean you will be compatible when you live together. You don't want to butt heads with your best friend. I feel like with your friends, your best friends, like at some point it's just like, all right, I need a break from you. And then you don't want to get into like an argument or a fight or something while you guys are living together and that mess up your entire friendship. I feel like good friends shouldn't move in with good friends. And that's why I thought I did a good job when I picked my first roommate my sophomore year, because we weren't like best friends, we weren't good friends. We like knew each other, we liked each other, and that was really it. But there were some questions I did not ask her before we moved in with each other, and I'm gonna get to those questions and the questions that you should definitely ask your roommate before you commit to roommating with them in an apartment and just be signed up for a year lease and it's just a disaster. But like I said, we'll get into that. So yeah, you don't want to ruin a good friendship just because you need a roommate. There are ways for you to find roommates even in today's world. Even if you're not looking for a college roommate, you can look online, you can look on ads, and like it's like strategic, vigorous process. Like they have questions, you talk to them, you meet up with them, you come, you check it out, and I know people who have found their roommate online and they're like best friends, or they became like a brotherhood, a sisterhood off of doing that. Or you can ask your good friends about other friends that you know you may not be good friends with but they think might classify as a good roommate. And it's not like oh, I see this person, they look normal, I'm just gonna roommate with them. No, you have questions, you go through a process and make sure they're a good fit for you. So just stay clear of like your best friends and your good friends, because you don't want to mess up good friendships and relationships over just needing a roommate and just like trying to settle right away and thinking it might work when it's not a great idea. They might have in-home habits that you hate. They might be nasty in the bathroom. They might stay up super late and you're an early bird. They may listen to their TV or their music blasting and it just annoys the crap out of you. You don't know. So you might not want to go there and mess up a good friendship. At least if you have a bad experience with someone else, at least they're not your good friend and you're not messing up a good relationship. Make sense? Okay. So on to the questions. Ask your potential roommate the tough questions. Like, what's their work schedule? Will you guys be on different shifts? Will you be on the same shifts? If you have one bathroom, if you are on the same shifts, how are you doing the bathroom? If you don't, then it might be perfect. If you have your own bathrooms, it might be perfect. Ask them if they smoke, drink, cigarettes, hookah, any kind of drugs or things that you just don't approve of, or if it is something that you do, if you want to make sure they have that in common so you guys don't have any issues, you want to ask those questions, and they should be okay with answering those questions because they should definitely question you as well. to make sure you guys are compatible and will work as roommates. Ask them how often they like to host guests. Like, do they like to have people over every weekend? If they like to have them over during the week, is that okay with you? Are you a loner? Do you not like people around? Do you feel kind of iffy if people are in the house when you're not there? You have to ask them how their social life is with bringing people in and hanging out with people all the time. You also want to know if they like their music loudly, if they listen to music a lot, how that will affect you. Or if you're that person, are you cool with that? And listen, these questions will alleviate a lot of stress, arguments, annoyances from the get-go. You'll know right up front, and you'll be able to nip it in the bud before it even starts. Or just know that this person isn't a good roommate for me. Ask them how much TV they like watching in the common area. If you guys like TV shows that are alike, you guys can probably link up. Oh, we can watch How to Get Away with Murder together. We can watch Grey's Anatomy together. Or if they're like, oh, I watch TV all the time, I'm always in there. Is that a big deal for you? Are you a TV person? Ask them whether or not they want to share household items. Like, do you guys want to buy groceries together? Do you want to buy like paper towels and toilet paper and toothpaste? Is that something you guys want to do together? Would you like to have your separate things? It all depends on, like, these are like critical things that you might not think of. You might be like, oh, they're super cool. They dress nice. Their car's clean, so I think they're clean, so we might work. No, there's a lot of like nitpicky things that you need to figure out before you guys move in together to find the perfect roommate and to just have a happy, peaceful living environment. And this is getting all up in their business, but finding out whether or not they have a good credit score, because you want to make sure they're going to pay their portion of the bills and the rent. If they have a horrible track record of paying back things, they might not be a good fit for you. I'm not saying with everyone, because people make mistakes, but check into it, look into it, and they should be okay, because they should want to know yours too, to make sure you're going to pay your end of the bills as well. Okay. Unless they are like super rich and have a trust fund and their parents take care of it all, and then you have no worries. And then like one of the last questions, and you might not think about it, but it's good to know, like whether or not they have any health concerns that you should know about and be made aware of. So like, I don't know, maybe like if they are diabetic, or if they have like seizures or mental illnesses, things that you should look out for, so that you're just aware of your surroundings and knowing who you're living with. That might seem like a little personal, but some things you should know, so just in case, so you know what to do. Like, so if this happens, what should I do? Should I call 911? Should I call your parents? Should I call your primary doctor? Just those things. And I think that's smart to know without getting too deep into it, but like, yo, if this happens, this is what you should do. Period. And a third thing that I think helps with finding the perfect roommate is finding out what your roommate expects from you. So basically asking those same questions back to each other, and just setting aside time to, if you don't know them, maybe getting to know them and seeing certain things that may bug them, that may bug you, your pet peeves, or things that really just tick you off. Just setting aside that time to see who expects what from who. Period. And being young, and especially in college, you're not thinking about this. You're just thinking like, oh, that girl's cool, or oh, that's bro, he's cool too. Like, let's just link up. If I felt like if I knew these little tips before I picked my roommate, I think it would have helped me out a lot to just avoid my sophomore experience with my roommate, honestly. Then find the right apartment. So like I said, if you guys are on the same work schedule and only having one bathroom, that might not work for you guys. It might be irritating. It might cause one of you to be late. So finding an apartment that might have 2 bathrooms, or 1.5 baths if you just need to brush your teeth and wash your face in the morning. If you guys want to be in a certain area, if you want your rooms to be on 2 separate sides of the apartment. I know when I was thinking about roommating with someone, I wanted to have my room like maybe on this side of the house, their room on that side of the house, and having our own bathrooms, because I just like my own space. And I also don't like to hear, I like it to be quiet when I sleep. So if they are a TV person, or if they do have a little bit of music, or maybe some ocean sounds or something like that when they sleep, I don't want to hear it. I'm very particular about how I sleep and my living arrangements, and that is why I'm on my own, okay? So, Jesus, just praying for my husband to be in one accord with me about that, okay? So, yeah, finding that perfect apartment. If you guys are like cookers and you want a certain thing in your kitchen, if you guys do like the host, if you want to make sure it's pretty spacious and has enough room for you guys to host game nights and events, barbecues. And then most importantly about that part, making sure you guys can afford it. Making sure you find the perfect apartment in the perfect area, perfect size, and the perfect rent. So maybe you guys have to talk about, oh, well, we can be lenient on this as long as we have X, Y, and Z. Making your list of things that are must-haves, things that we can work around, and things that are not tolerable. Like, we cannot do one bathroom. No. I'm really big on this bathroom thing. I'm, like, really particular about my bathroom. And one of the last things, and this is a given, picking a roommate that is going to contribute. Like I said, checking that credit score is a big thing. Because you want to make sure they have the income to pay, or that if they are having their parents pay, or if they have a trust fund, how long that's going to last. Making sure they're good with their money so that you never have to worry about it all being on your own. But with that being said, I also think that no matter what that rent amount is or the bills are, make sure that if anything were to ever happen, you can take care of the entire bills. Even if that means leaving paycheck to paycheck, even if that means dipping into your savings, no matter what, make sure you can pay that rent in full and your utilities in full. You can always cut your cable off and you could just have your rent payment and your electricity. Make sure you can pay that in full no matter what, because you never know what might happen. You don't know if your roommate will ever flake out on you, if they lose their job, or if they don't have a savings and everything. But that's why you kind of want to get into the finances, and you got to be willing and open to talk about your finances, as well as, for example, letting them know, I have a savings account, this is my credit score, I have revolving income, etc., and making sure they're giving you that back. I don't know if you guys want to show pay stubs, or that's a bit much getting into how much you make, but just making sure that they can provide and they can hold their own weight. Okay, so yeah, I think those are like the perfect keys to start out with picking your roommate. I think this is like the outline and the groundwork of what you need to do to get on the right steps of picking a roommate that will work perfectly for you. And I don't think I said this, but figuring out if they have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Do they plan on moving in? Because you need to know. Like, if you both have boyfriends and your boyfriends are coming over, like, okay, but do both think he living here? Like, is he gonna be putting in, like, some type of finances? You need to ask these questions. You don't want, oh, it's just me and homegirl, where, you know, and he comes out and he's been there for 2 months straight. Hold on. Is he pitching in? Y'all have to have these conversations. So these are like little conversations that I missed out on and I did not ask. So make sure you ask if you want to pick the most compatible roommate. And of course, there's always going to be something that may irritate you or go wrong. But maybe you guys should come up with some sort of plan. Like, if your music's too loud, I don't want you to think that I'm being smart or that I mean any harm by it, but this is how we can go about it. I'll send you a text saying this, etc., etc. And if there's anything ever a problem, like, let's just promise to always just come to each other about it. One thing about me, I hate confrontation. Like, I just hate confrontation. I've had bad experiences with confrontation and I'm working on it. But you have to be able to confront things, and every time you confront something, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be an issue. And that's my thing that I'm working on. Like, just because I confront you, it doesn't have to be a negative confront. It doesn't have to be an offensive confront. It's just, I want to confront what I'm feeling and how what you may have done or what may have transpired affected me. I don't want this to happen anymore, so I want to talk to you because, you know, I like you, I love you, and you're my friend or you're my roommate, and, you know, we're living together, so we got to make this work. We're family. So be willing to confront. Have a plan set up for you guys to confront each other about things that may bother the both of you or bother that person, etc. And just making sure you put everything at the forefront so there's no underlying buildup of tension, irritation, and it blows up. That's what happened with me. You don't want to have something buried deep inside and it keeps blowing up, and then you explode and then it's just a catastrophe. So confront things head on. Be polite. Don't be mean or negative about it. And like I said, you guys can come up with a plan in the beginning, like, oh, this is how we'll handle things. Even if it's like, oh, I'm gonna write you a note and slip it under, or I'm gonna write you a note, leave it on the counter, so we can meet up and talk and just be adults and try to make the best of your roommate experience. Okay. Like I said, my junior and senior year were perfect. I had 2 roommates and we rocked out and had a good time. So having a successful roommate can definitely work out. Alright, I love you guys so much. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to press that bell down below so you get a notification every time I post. And make sure you subscribe. I love you all so much. And remember to be the light wherever you go, because wherever you go, the light shall follow. Y'all know I'm looking a little raggedy too. I didn't put the disclaimer up earlier, but I'm about to catch a flight to Dallas. And stay tuned, because I'm going to be vlogging my first time to Texas and find out where I'm going. Next video.